Concept 3. It is a pure electric concept car in the compact class, and it does have an ioniq label, and it's being launched here in Munich just a couple of days before Germany's biggest motor show. Now, I only have a few minutes with this car, so I'm going to jump straight in and show you 3 cool things about the Concept 3. Okay, now the first cool thing is pixels galore. There's actually too many for me to count, but you know, I have to say we're living in a world in which we're kind of tending towards homogeneity in the EV world, but Hyundai does use pixels as part of its parametric pixel design. And to me, it's very digital, very eye-catching, but also very distinctive and very, very ionic. Now, in terms of footprint, the Concept 3 kind of straddles classes. It's just under 4.3 meters long, but it's nearly 2 meters wide, so roughly as long as a VW Golf, but about as wide as a BMW 3 Series. Wheelbase, that's 2.722 millimeters, so roughly the same as a Hyundai Elantras. So like many EVs, the Concept 3 is reasonably compact on the outside, but it should be roomy on the inside, which brings me to this interior. Now, this is a concept car that's not production, so I don't have to talk about screens or storage spaces and stuff like that. Instead, let's just talk about how you feel when you look at this car. And I have to say, there's a very calming kind of moonstone yellow palette over here. Combined with gray, it's meant to kind of make you feel very relaxed. This thing is called it's kind of bring your own lifestyle thing. It's a bunch of widgets over here which are adjustable. So think about your lifestyle. Like my lifestyle is I do exactly what my wife tells me to do. So basically what I would do is arrange all these things according to how she likes them. And then when she changes her mind, I'll rearrange them according to her preferences. There's something called Mr. Pix, which is kind of an avatar that's scattered around the car as well. And you'll be able to see it here and there in the interior. It's one of those things that's just adding a dose of fun to this car. Materials is very important to a concept car, and this is apparently made of recycled plastics, recycled wool, and something I've never seen before, kind of aluminium foam, which is aluminium which has bubbles in it to make it look like sponge. It's lightweight, it's strong, and it does absorb noise. That's something new to this car. Oh, and yes, do not adjust your screens because this car does have yellow glass, and I'm not sure if it makes me look extra Chinese today, but it is there because apparently it filters out blue light. And it's kind of like those ski goggles or cycling glasses that people wear to just add contrast and make things pop. Or maybe it's just to look cool, like these lemon yellow wheels, or this huge chin spoiler, or this enormous ducktail at the back to balance out the downforce. It's all pretty fierce looking, I'm sure you'll agree. But yeah, this is a pretty sick looking car overall, and this apparently showcases Hyundai's new Out of Steel design language. Now don't forget, Hyundai is one of the few car makers that actually makes its own steel, and Out of Steel apparently celebrates the flexibility and strength of that material. I think it's kind of marketing speak for, we made something cool and now you want one. But my favorite feature on this car, and I think the third cool thing, is this ducktail over here. I mean, who doesn't love a good ducktail, right? I'm not very sure if this is going to make it into production because it's kind of overkill for the road. But you know what else is cool about this car? There are a lot of little Easter eggs all over the place. Like these apparently are like speakers, loudspeakers that can kind of telegraph sound. This is an electric car, so you need to add raciness, you need to add noise for excitement, and that's what these things do. You've got all these funny little messages all over the car. I haven't finished finding them, but they are all around if you care to look. And it's just one of those things that gives this car a real sense of fun. But this is even more playful, guys. This is the Hyundai Instaroid. Now, under all this is the Hyundai Insta, which is a kind of EV version of the Hyundai Casper. You might have seen that in Seoul. It's a 1-liter urban hatchback. And when you take Insta and add steroids, you get Instaroid. Now, this is purely a styling exercise. It's basically a way for Hyundai's designers to have a bit of fun and play around with new shapes and new ideas. And I truly believe that when car designers have fun, it's going to end up in fun cars for the rest of us. But if any part of this car spells fun, it has to be the back. I mean, just look at the size of this wing, guys. And these wheel arch extensions, they basically cover up these must be the biggest tires I've ever seen in my life. One of my favorite features, though, is this lamp over here. They look like kind of afterburners that propel this car with jet force. 100%, this car must have had lots of inspiration from Hyundai's World Rally team, which does have a base right here in Germany. But the Instaroid was actually born in Europe, where Hyundai has a design center. And you know, 80% of the cars that Hyundai sells in Europe are actually made in Europe. So it's probably safe to assume that for a Korean company, Hyundai is pretty well in tune with European tastes. This thing looks like it just stepped out of a racing game. I mean, there's lots of references to gaming I can see here. Now, this console over here looks 3D printed and it kind of looks almost like a gaming console. And I've noticed that under this mesh over here, it looks like you've got a nice, powerful gaming rig. It does have that kind of homemade, garage-built kind of racing car feel though, with this roll cage and stripped-down interior. So looking at this really makes me want to put on a helmet and some driving gloves. And I've noticed as well, there are all these little Easter eggs. So this character here called Mr. Boost, which are kind of scattered playfully around the car. So at the end of the day, right, I can't quite shake the feeling that this car is kind of aimed at someone a little bit younger than me.
When we say young people aren't into cars, the reaction to Instaroid, huge momentum there. A little bit of that is sprinkled on Concept 3 to give it that little fun factor, a little smile factor, a little engagement where it's not just a boring car. It's got some other storytelling around it somehow. And so we see not only young people buying this car, we see the young mindset buying this car. It could be young and old, but the mindset of having a sporty, compact hatch, and that's what this is about.
Now, Hyundai hasn't actually said so, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is built on the EGMP. That's Hyundai's Electric Global Modular Platform. It's basically the skateboard design that underpins cars like the ioniq 5, the ioniq 6, the ioniq 9. And don't forget, Hyundai says it wants to put 21 electric vehicles on the road by 2030. So yes, this is going into production. What's it going to be called? Well, it is the Concept 3. It does have an ioniq label, and right now there's no ioniq 3, so I don't know.
Meet the Concept 3, unveiled at IAA Mobility 2025 in Munich. This is Hyundai's first compact electric concept under the ioniq lineup, and it's gunning straight for that sweet spot where urban mobility meets a bit of design flair. Let's be real, the compact EV segment in Europe is tougher than finding a free parking spot in Lisbon during rush hour, but Hyundai clearly thinks it has the winning ticket. So what makes the Concept 3 stand out? For starters, it's based on what Hyundai calls the art of steel design language. Sounds fancy, but it really means they've shaped steel into smooth but bold lines that actually look pretty sharp. Think more sculpture, less toaster. And that anodized finish with lemon-tinted glass? It's a bit of a love it or hate it move, but you won't mistake this car for a generic hatchback. At just over 4.2 meters long and less than 1.5 meters high, the Concept 3 is all about maximizing city-friendly packaging. There's that aero hatch profile, essentially a slick, sloped roof meeting a vertical tailgate, which should help with aerodynamics and boot space. Parametric pixel lights, front and rear, are a signature Hyundai move, now even more expressive, meaning they finally look as good as the teasers promised. Inside, it's clear Hyundai's going for calm, not chaos. The color palette is all soft yellows and grays, which is more relaxing than a spa day in Porto. There's a big focus on modularity with these bring-your-own lifestyle widgets, a cool idea if you actually want your car to double as a sort of rolling extension of your living room. But if you hate digital clutter or just want to, drive, it might all feel a bit gimmicky. And then there's Mr. Pix, a cutesy mascot hidden throughout the car. It's playful, sure, but some will see it as juvenile. At least it's not another fake engine sound. On the tech and sustainability front, Concept 3 scores points for using things like ocean waste textiles and recycled aluminum foam. That's a legitimate plus in today's eco-conscious market, and a hint that Hyundai's designers are thinking beyond just fashion statements. But is Hyundai really doing enough to differentiate itself? The compact EV crowd in Europe is getting packed with solid rivals. Think Peugeot E208, Renault 5, or the Volkswagen ID2. Concept 3's distinctive design will help, but ultimately it's the driving experience and, let's be honest, the price that will really matter. Details Hyundai is unsurprisingly not sharing just yet. To sum up, Hyundai's Concept 3 is a bold attempt to inject some personality and innovation into the entry-level EV game. The steel-inspired design and customizable interior could turn heads, but time will tell if these ideas survive the jump from concept